Good morning, adventurers. My name is Ben, and welcome to a morning show where I sit around, drink some tea, and talk about D&D. It's so hot, freshly brewed. First up for D&D today, we have in this lovely, I'm just a woman with a master's degree that loves tacos mug, one of the classics, some soothing caramel bedtime, because it's very late. I was working for about 16 hours today, and so it will be soothing caramel bedtime immediately following finishing up this recording here. So that's what's in there for the thematic reasons and whatnot, and not thematic because of the video, but thematic because of, yep, we're there. So anyway, what we're talking about today, what we're all excited about, what I am super pumped about, this book is here. It just came out. I am so excited. Because I've been at work, I haven't even opened this thing yet. Normally with a first look video, or episode, I guess, first look episode, I take like 20 minutes probably, flip through, do some skimming of the introduction, find some pages that I want to see. But I thought maybe I'd give you guys a like proper first look at the book. And hopefully it will help inform a couple of your decisions, and I will have it read in the next few days so that I can go ahead and talk about it in depth on Friday. But today we're going to take a look at it firsthand, and I'm hoping I can catch it on the old microphono here. That's not how you say microphone, I don't think. But because I haven't opened it yet, I'm hoping that the glue in the spine creaks just a little bit for us, because that's usually how it goes. But let's see if we can't get that. Let's find out here. Oh, it didn't creak on us. It didn't actually creak. Ooh, okay. The page I opened up to is gorgeous. If you're watching this, take a look at this. The like fractaling on this here page, and then just the art style on this page. I mean, the landscape art on that page. Absolutely gorgeous. But let's take a look at this the way that I would normally take a first look at a book. I would start at the only place that really makes sense to start. And I guess technically we have had a little bit of a first look in the preview that they released. But I start on, obviously, table of contents. Tells you what's in the book, tells you what you need to be looking for. Very, very helpful place to be. So, table of contents, running through here real quick. It looks like we have a pretty wide selection here, which is good, and we knew that going into it because it is a anthology kind of book. It's a collection of a bunch of different adventures. My brain is not working the fastest right now, so I apologize if some of the words I say are just wrong, and I am trying desperately to get myself to focus in. There we go. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to run through the titles of all of these adventures, just real quick so that you guys have kind of a little bit of an idea. Welcome to the Radiant Citadel. That's not an adventure. That's just what it is. The Radiant Citadel. That's also not an adventure. That's just what it is. Salted Legacy Adventure number 1. Written in Blood. The Fiend of Hollow Mine. Wages of Vice. Sins of Our Elders. Gold for Fools and Princes. Trail of Destruction. In the Mists of Manavarsha. Between Tangled Roots, Shadow of the Sun, The Night Seas Succor, Buried Destiny, Orchids of the Invisible Mountain, Beyond the Radiant Citadel, which I'm assuming is not an adventure, but is instead, in fact, stuff that is other than the Radiant Citadel. And then stat blocks at the end. So, normally, in this kind of book, we have things like adventure mapping, timeline, monster stat blocks, magic items, and those are the places that I flip to take a look at first after I skim the introduction. We have done the introduction on the show already. We know that the Radiant Citadel is this it's almost like extraplanar in a way. It centers around this shard that floats through space, essentially, with portals leading to different places, blah, 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 blah. We know about that. So, we take a look at some of the other things here. One thing that I'm getting from these titles that I'm actually very excited about, and I think is pretty cool, is that it doesn't necessarily seem like they are predominantly, go fetch this thing, stab this person kind of missions. Salted Legacy, to me, tells you that it's like a mystery kind of thing, and reading some of the subtitles here, being in the market, investigating in the market games, what the vendors might know, revealing the plot, etc., makes me think that, hey, maybe this is a like mystery type adventure. And I'm going to take shots in the dark at all of these here, which is going to be fun, hopefully, for people to watch and listen to. But we'll see. I'm just going to kind of roll through these real quick because I don't have... we already did the introduction, and I don't have NPCs to go look at, monsters to go look at, magic items to go look at. So I guess that is an important piece to just sort of note. There are no magic items in this book. I don't believe that. I bet they're buried in the actual chapters themselves. But there is no like appendix with all the magic items laid out in it. So if you're buying this book because you're like, oh man, I bet there's going to be some really cool magical items in it that I'm going to be able to use in my game. There might be, but you're going to have to dig for them in the book if that is the case, as opposed to like actually just being able to flip to the end, find the things, and go forward from there. So Salted Legacy, I think, is a mystery thing. Written in Blood. That one feels like another murder mystery kind of thing, but it feels like you might have to fight a murderer in it a little bit more. The Fiend of Hollow Mine, that does feel kind of like you are closing a portal to hell based on the name, situated deep within a mine, which means that there's probably like disappearances and stuff like that that's going on in there. A lot of D&D plot hooks are like mysteries. That's really kind of the way it goes. But this one feels more like close a portal kind of thing. Wages of Vice, this one feels very much like a treasure hunt, almost like an Uncharted kind of treasure hunty kind of deal, which I think is pretty cool. Sins of Our Elders, I get the feeling that one might actually be like a ghosty kind of one, where you're dealing with the sins of your elders, like potentially your grandparents killed someone and their ghost has come back to haunt them, or like maybe there is a younger family member that's coming back for revenge, something like that. So that could be pretty cool. Gold for Fools and Princes. This one feels also kind of like a Uncharted one via title to me. However, the things in the subsets within this chapter are background, obviously, starting the adventure, obviously, Death in the Mines, Anissa Academy, the Gold Warren, and Beyond the Gold Warden. So because we don't know what the Gold Warren is, I can't make an educated guess. It could also be like a Robin Hood kind of thing, which would be kind of cool, given that it's Fools and Princes. But who is to say? Not me right now. I will have an answer for you later. Trail of Destruction feels like... it feels like a big monster kind of one. However, the subtitles in it make me think that it is an extraplanar thing, as they are background starting the adventure, exploring Etzalan, the Way Up, Twin Gods Observatory. There we go. Traveling to the Gate, Gods of Illumination, and conclusion. So that could be pretty cool, honestly. I like that idea, at least. I think it's a cool concept if it is an extraplanar kind of thing. In the Mists of Manabarsha, feels, again, kind of haunting-y. I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit here. You don't need to hear my justifications for all of them. Between Tangled Roots makes me think that it might be like a Scourge on a Forest, Scourge on the Land kind of thing, which, again, I really like those. It's a mystery-ish, but it's not like solve the murder like so many other things are. Shadow of the Sun feels extraplanar, but Sun being S-U-N, not S-O-N. Feels extraplanar, however, the only real thing that they have in here that gives you any kind of indication is that there is a pedestal of judgment, which makes it feel a little bit godly at the same time. The Night Seas Succor, I want this to be so badly. I want it to be pirates. And it might be pirates, but it does have dead listed out in it. So it might not be living pirates. It might be undead pirates, which would be pretty cool. Buried Dynasty, hoping that is like ex-rulers, family, something like that coming back, or potentially like a mummy kind of situation. And Orchids of the Invisible Mountain, I do not know. I don't know, because the things that it's got listed out here are Ghost Orchid Tepui, Crystal Caves, the Tepui's Fate, back across the Llanos, Silver Tapir Monastery. So It almost feels like a Greybeards thing from Skyrim to me, but I don't know. It could be very cool. And then, again, lists up a couple of locations beyond the Radiant Citadel, and it gives us some stat blocks. Now, the reason that I go look at items and stat blocks and things like that pretty early on in my, almost immediately in my flip-throughs of things, is because I feel like those give me, personally, the best idea of how the book actually kind of works. Oh, I see here. The stat blocks are actually listed on what page they're in within the book, which is actually kind of nice. But anyway, stat blocks make me think that it kind of informs the way that the adventure is going to go. Because most of the time, they don't hand you stat blocks for every random creature. They assume you have certain books, or they put a little asterisk in there that says this creature can be found here. And so, the stat blocks are the ones that they have written specifically for this adventure, which means that they are the ones that are important to this adventure, important enough to not be able to be substituted for something else. So, let's take a look at, I don't know, the Soul Shaker, on page 47, which makes it part of Written in Blood. Let's see. Oh no, that's alarming. That's what that is. It is a collection of arms. That's what that is. That's terrifying, and I hate that. But also, it's fantastic. Clearly something you could take, throw into a Necromancer's Lair or something like that. Just outright, first thing that comes to mind, you could totally do that. It has an intelligence score of 8, so it is actually fairly smart, all things considered. So it is sentient enough to like really be able to work on its own. But taking a look through this and looking at this stat block does inform sort of what is going on within this section here. And it is an adventure for 3rd level characters. The Written in Blood one is, which means that this challenge rating 4 creature is going to be up there in the challenge range for the 3rd level characters. However, it is not maybe going to be the final boss, though it also very well could be. Again, I have not read this at all, so I don't super know. Let's see here if we can't find it right quick. Nope, can't find it right quick. But I love this art style that is the beginning of each of these things. I love the like half-page spread on the one side. I love the like fractally gemstone-y kind of art that is being put into each one of these, it seems like. Because these are just the title pages between each of these. Man, these are... It's so good. Anyway, not the point. Let's take a look towards the end here to see what these beyond places are. Beyond the Radiant Citadel. Okay, so... very, very quick glance here, like glazing over it. Not even skimming, just glazing right over it. It looks like it sort of gives you a quote-unquote surrounding area. Not like proper surrounding, because the Radiant Citadel is kind of this, again, spaceless kind of thing. But it does give you a, quote, surrounding area, and then it gives you a single city within that area. It appears, I could be totally wrong. It could be that they are two entirely separate entities, but it appears that it is an empire and then a city within that empire, which is a kind of cool thing, just even to have sort of in your back pocket. If the Radiant Citadel, I don't know, crashes out of space and time and lands somewhere, you have that ready to go, just in case it happens. You know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. That's not the point. This book, just out. Definitely go check it out if you have the ability to. If you are still unsure about it, wait till Friday. I'll tell you all about it on Friday. But so far, I am liking what I see. I love these kind of books that are anthology type books, the ones that come with a bunch of mini adventures in them, because first off, it's always fun to run one-shots, because people like to experiment with characters. They make some bolder choices than maybe in a long-term campaign. So I really like getting to do that. But also, it's just good to have these things around. Plus, with the variety that will come in a book like this, there is something you can at least draw inspiration from in your game. if you are running an all homebrew game. So I recommend checking these books out, even just as a flip through, read through kind of thing, and see if you want to buy it come Friday if you're not sure about it at all. I'm excited to actually get into it and see a little bit more about what this is. But that's that. Moving on from that to the shows that we have today and tomorrow. Let me make sure I have this up here. There we go. My iPad is in the other room. Wednesday, today, we have, in no particular order, we do not actually have Dimension 20. They wrapped up Coffin Run. I need to catch up on it, but they will be coming out with their next show soon. They always do. So that means today we have Knocked Prone, Venture Maidens, Trials and Trebuchets, and Roll Out. And then tomorrow, Thursday, we have Critical Role, Authors and Dragons, NADPOD, and LGBT D&D. Check them out. Let them know they sent you. Most of those are pretty big games, so they probably won't care that I sent you, but I still think it's funny, and I hope that someday they will know that I sent you, and that will mean something to somebody somewhere. But who knows? Not really the point. That is everything I have to talk to you guys about today, though. So, thank you so much for making me a part of your morning routine. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much, in particular, to my patrons. You guys are the ones that make this show possible. If you're interested in becoming a patron, check out the link in the episode description. I really, really appreciate all the support. But with all that said, don't forget, everybody, never forget, drink tea, play D&D, and keep on rolling.